We have all members present except for Stephen Cass and Chris.
Chris is not here yet. He's coming.
He's coming. Item number 1, permit hearing on the following operating permit amendment applications. Well number 1, located at .77 miles south-southwest of the intersection of Mercer Drive and Orderlands Road in Brazos County. Total maximum annual production from the water well is 120 acre-feet at a maximum rate of 150 gallons per minute for industrial use. Permit holder seeks to amend the existing permit, lengthening the permit term from 1 year to 5 years. Well produces from the Sparta Aquifer. Well number 2, located .74 miles east-southeast of the intersection of Austin's Estates Drive and Orderlands Road in Brazos County. Total maximum annual production from the well is 120 acre-feet per year at a maximum rate of 150 gallons per minute for industrial use. Permit holder seeks to amend the existing permit, lengthening the permit term from 1 year to 5 years. The well produces from the Yawal-Jackson Aquifer.
We have not received any comments on either one of these.
Anybody from the public have any comments on these two? Hearing none. Move on to item number 2, discussion and possible action on the following operating permit amendment applications. Well number 1 and well number 2, as read before, for Wildfire Energy LLC.
So both of these wells have been in place since 2013, 2014. Were originally Hawkwood wells, and always with a 1 year permit, and then just simply renewing and moving on with that. I encouraged Wildfire, once they took these wells over, they have numerous wells, that there's no reason for them to be doing these 1 year and just keep going. They can get them at any time, that they might want to move these to 5 years. We did some of these recently for them. Anyway, these two wells, they're looking to move each of these wells from 1 year permits to 5 year permits with no increase, no additional water on their permits. Administrative complete. We went back and drew the footprints on the wells. They are all on property that is within the lease, and we have those lease agreements. So if anybody has any questions, might be the time. If not, I would ask that you approve the amending both of these permits, moving from 1 year to 5 year permits.
Any questions from the board? Let the record show that Chris Ide has joined the meeting. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will adjourn the permit hearing and move to our regular board meeting. Call the meeting to order. First order of business is the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Of all board members present except for Stephen Cass. Move to the public comment. Any public comments on non-agenda items from the public?
We have not received anything for non-agenda items.
Okay. For agenda items, I have 3 requests to speak. First one is Nick Lutz.
Did we do that, Stevie? Just read?
What's that?
You'll do it right here?
Yeah, but that's fine.
Sit right there. I got a few points I want to make, I want to talk to the board about. I'm Nick Lutz, representing RH2O LLC. Our family has owned land here for over 120 years. As a landowner, our family chose to invest in securing production permits by working with legal counsel and consultants. Our 5 production permits were issued on August 14, 2023, with effective date September 14, 2023. I am speaking for myself and my family, also several other landowners who hold production permits and have applied for transport permits for transport permits as a part of the overall project with UW Brazos. For efficiency, I was asked to share some overall remarks. We appreciate the district's prompt review, processing, and ultimately issuance of the transport permits to go with our already issued in-hand production permits. I'm a proud landowner in Robertson County and have worked with reputable consultant Thornhill Group and my family legal counsel to make decisions about my family's groundwater interests. We provided solid application for production permits in compliance with the rules, and those were granted last year. I chose to work with UW Brazos Valley Farm because they were resounding and well-documented demand that UW Brazos is working to meet with sophisticated and experienced professionals and counterparties, which of some I know. By contributing Simsboro water resources from our land, our family is both gaining from our private property interests and investment here and helping to solve a regional water demand. The Thornhill Group put together a detailed transport permit application that meets the district's rules and demonstrates that transport permits should be issued. Also, the project level concessions on total export amount for the project and well mitigation funding or meaningful compromises above and beyond the rules. We believe in the project is a well-balanced and thoughtful way for us as a collection of Robertson County landowners to steward resources both from an individual, collective, and broader geographic perspective. This project does that with the sensitivity to long-term sustainable pumping as a key objective and a proactive approach to mitigating wells where that is needed. We look forward to moving forward quickly. I honestly thought by now we'd be further along than we are, but we're not. We ask the board recognize that this production has already been authorized, and we trust that this board will be fair, impartial, and non-discriminatory to the transport of the already authorized production, and look forward to the prompt permit issuance with permit hearing in June. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Nick, could we get a copy of, could I get somebody where we could copy that so we can file that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, I have Ms. Lori Hart.
Hello. Okay. To the Board of Directors, Brazos Valley Groundwater District, good afternoon. I regret not being with you today as I realize this is an important agenda. Yet here I am speaking to you by proxy. When we applied and received our permits, we knew that it was just the beginning of a process which would have many obstacles. As you are also aware, or possibly not, we are not participating in the current water project, so I have nothing to lose or gain by speaking to you at this time on this agenda item. I told you when we started the permit process that we wanted to protect our water and the aquifer and the rights we are supposed to have as to use the water through the permits. Several of you have expressed the fact that you wanted to see the water stay and be used within the district. We have tried with no interest shown. With the increase of the land required to put in municipal well and out of fear, the cities rushed to get permits for wells on small acreage of land they owned or leased. Because it was the water supply companies in the district, no one objected. There was no uproar, no special meeting. Basically, it just walked on through the door with no obstacles, no matter how much water was going to be permitted. Again, I realize these were within the district, but that does not eliminate the rights of an individual to do as they choose with their water. All of the information you are getting as to the impact on the aquifer are models, because there is so little actual and factual information that is best we can do. As you as board have altered the rules to try and protect the aquifer, as you should. However, the water under the land does not belong to you. You, as a governing body, can adjust with time the amount of water used in and out of the district by monitoring the wells. You have the power, so why are you so hesitant to look at the broader picture? This picture will become clearer over time, and I have no doubt that you will act when necessary, but at this time you are trying to put the genie back in the bottle. I say that to say this. You issued permits, and by doing so, you gave the permit holder the right to produce water for whatever they feel is appropriate. Yes, people might make money off the sale of the water, but that was the same with oil and gas wells. Those that moved forward in some cases did well. Others who merely complained and threw up roadblocks would have done the same if they had had the chance. I can't speak for everyone who received permits, but as for our permits, we backed off of what we were able to produce of the water available to lessen the chance of the overproduction of our water wells. You removed the ability to merely hold a permit or to significantly drill a well without taking it to completion. Had this not been done, it might have helped lessen the production of water and acted as a reservation of water. Holding on these wells could have been beneficial, but I truly believe you never thought of that. In reality, no, I don't want the district to run low on water, but if you do your job in monitoring and act only when needed, it will not. In truth, no, I don't want to jump through hoops to receive transport permits. If we should ever choose to sell water, which goes hand in hand with our drilling permits, by your own rules, the permit holder is entitled to transport when they receive their water permits. No one should be restricted as to where the water is transported as long as there is genuine need for the water outside the district and fees are paid. I have heard through the Brazos Valley grapevine that you plan on an open meeting and are sending mails out to more than just Simsboro well owners in the district regarding the transport permits. You have the ability to do this to inform the public, no argument there. The same should have been done on rule changes, but it wasn't. Those had impact. In truth, all it will accomplish is to cause alignment against those that have chosen to join in a water project. There are too many closed sessions on the subject which negates the transparency theory. You sent out letters prior to issuing permits. Plenty of uninformed comments and opinions were expressed. You have open meetings every month, and so far I am the majority of the public which have shown up for the past 3 to 4 years. Shame on the citizens for not attending. Water is a valuable and life-sustaining asset, but do you really believe those in power in the state of Texas will ever let any town in Texas go dry, especially any large city? Yes, we have the permits and we agree with protecting the aquifer, but this board and administration are obviously afraid of their public image and utilizing the rules they passed and did so without a special meeting to inform the public and get public input on changes. Managing is your job, so do your job. Don't overstep and stand by your decisions. I dare to say that most people do not know that members of this board cannot be removed until their term is up, and only by county commissioners. That's the rule. You are certainly not overpaid, but you all have a tremendous amount of power. I hope that you will take these words as they are intended to make you stop and think of each decision and vote you cast. In saying that, I leave you with one thought. If you have the land and have substantial water under it, and you could afford the cost of a hydrolysis and attorneys, can you honestly say that you would not pursue the possibility of producing water for sale? It is easy when you don't have the ability to say that it is the wrong thing to do. Water permits equal transport permits. Thank you for your time, for listening, and I hope that you have heard what I have said. And yes, I will be back. Respectfully, Kathy Goss.
And I am.
There she is. Right on time.
Right on time.
Grand entry, there it was, right there.
There it was. I'm
That's
so
right.
it was important. I came. So
All right.
thank you for doing that.
There you go.
signed up is Brad Eli.
Thank you.
You did great.
Brad Eli, I'm here representing Eli Family Partnership. Our family has owned property here in Robertson County. With me being fourth generation and happy to say that the fifth generation is actively participating as well. Our family chose to invest our time and our resources in securing production permits. And we did that with the help of legal counsel, McCarthy, as well as our water consultant, Thornhill Group, and thus obtaining our production permits last September. I agree with those comments shared earlier. I just wanted to be here today to share with the board our stance. As private property owners, we understand our rights with that. I also understand that there's considerations with the district, but we've chosen to pursue production permits. We've chosen to pursue transport permits, as well as to work with UW-Brazos on this regional project. So the Thornhill Group's provided transport permit applications that meet the district's rules, and that support issuing the permits. With production permits already in hand, the very clear need for this water in this requested area, and the measures that balance the project with local needs, we think it's time to go ahead and move quickly. We expect and we appreciate the district's prompt review, processing, and ultimately the issuance of the transport permits that go already in hand with our production permits. So we simply ask the board to consider our application in June and authorize the transport as requested. So thank you for allowing me the time to speak.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else that wants to speak on agenda items?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Day and members of the board, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Appreciate that. My name is Mark Holscher. My brother and I are proud third-generation owners and caretakers of some of Robertson County's finest farmland. Our task is to steward these resources for our children, their children, and their children's children. We take this responsibility seriously. We're making decisions in the here and now while respecting those long-term implications that will definitely outlive all of us in the room today. Water is life, that's clear. Water resources are scarce and they must be protected wisely. I respect and appreciate the difficulty of the tasks before the board, and I thank you for working through these tasks. Frankly speaking, we collectively are being called upon to be local leaders of what is a pressing global issue that will follow. And it's not going away, and it's only going to get worse. So frankly, we're in the middle of it, and you guys are in the middle of it with us. Saying this, private property rights are clearly defined in Texas. We're not here to discuss the right of capture or any other fundamental concept that is involved with this. We don't need to reinvent the wheel regarding water rights. Recently, my brother and I have aligned ourselves with Mr. Lynch at Upwell, Mr. Thornhill and his Thornhill Group, and then spent a shocking amount of money with our new friend and lawyer, Mr. Johnson. We chose these professionals for several reasons. They clearly demonstrate experience with water in Texas. They have the ability to align the project with people like EPCOR, Garney, and the city of Georgetown. Most importantly, they were honest, plain-spoken, and earned our trust. Our well permits were granted on September 14th, 2023. In conclusion, we've provided detailed transport permit applications meeting the district's rules. We collectively compromised on the total export amount for the project, and the project provides mitigation funding above and beyond the rule requirements. This project offers a proactive solution to pressing regional water demand issues with a solid commitment to sustainable pumping and a proactive approach to mitigation wells where, when, and if they're needed. I stand before the board today expecting a fair, impartial, non-discriminatory review, processing, and ultimately issuance of the requested transport permits to go with our in-hand production permits. Respectfully, please put this on the agenda in June. Thank you again for your time.
Sir, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak on agenda items?
I have a question. How many, when we get to Calvert, they be telling us how many acre feet they're going to be using and how many acres they own for their land? It is just a question. And I guess that would be more addressed to...
The permit that they have in hand is 325 acre feet. They're using in the upper 200s at times. So, but it would cover the needs, and it's a one footprint that fits on a tract of land which is west of Highway 6, down where that park is, little, I say park,
Yeah.
a little baseball kind of field. That's the property that well will be located on. Does that answer?
That answers it. I just wanted to know.
All right.
Thank you.
Moving on, item number 1, discussion and possible action on the minutes of the March 14, 2024 permit hearing and regular board meeting.
Okay, we provided the minutes to the public. It's been up online. Each of y'all would have had a direct link to look at the minutes, and I would present these as for approval. If you got anything that you see that needs to be corrected, we certainly can do that now. If not, I'd ask that you approve the minutes as presented.
Any questions from the board on the minutes? If not, I entertain a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, financial report for March 2024.
Okay, we'll start off with the total deposits for the month, $74,187.75. Moving over on, and this is all in your packet and up on the board also, up on the TV. The total assets at this point is $1.776 million. With CDs and checking at let's call it 1.57 million. In liquid assets, the remainder being in fixed and current assets. Moving over to your the second page of your balance sheet, liabilities and equity. You see that we balance out with a retained earnings of 1.637 or 38 million. That's where most of that lies, is in retained earnings. Next page would be your budget expenditures for April of 2024. Total income through the end of April is $315,436.12. Total expenses for the year is $335,621.29, and to date we've used approaching 39% of the budget. Next page is the collateralization report. You can see that the CDs are in short term. Most of them are 6 or 7 month CDs, and our weighted average maturity date is 121 and a half days, so well under the 365. Our percent of the portfolio, the CDs make up 75%. The cash in checking accounts makes up 25%. And you can see there at the bottom, the collateralization levels at Prosperity Bank is 131%. At South Star Bank is 136%. And we require on our financial policy that be at least 102%. On to the last two would be the expenses by vendor for the month. It totaled in our operating account $83,376.67, and in the well assistance fund there's $111,453.57. There was 2 checks written, but or to reimburse the operating account, no checks written, just wire transferred into the other account, and the $5,230 was for advanced groundwater systems for modeling and that type of thing on the hydrogeology. Everybody, that's kind of quick, but anybody got any questions? Go back to it, okay?
The City of College Station and the Wixing Creek, are those both BV Water Smart?
That was BB Water Smart, that, and then
Can you tell the public what that
Wixon.
is?
Mhm.
Can you tell the public what that is?
Okay, that's a grant that we have been doing $32,000 worth of grant that we've been doing since late 2014. We provide money first we provided Wixon and College Station with the money to purchase weather stations and remote rain gauges. There's 15 or 16 locations that are within the Bryan College Station out to Wixon area where the main population is. The objective was to gather evapotranspiration, know exactly how much individuals with lawns should be watering any week. And that's been going on since 2015 is when that went online. Currently have nearly 300,000 hits on the website that's associated with it.
A&M, correct?
A&M is the collector of the data, and then they put that up on the BV WaterSmart website, and then they also send out an email weekly ahead of the week to give by neighborhood, giving recommendations for the amount of water that needs to be on their lawns. It's been extremely successful. So the 27.5, what that does, that's 25 of that goes to for College Station is to find someone to be the gatherer of the information, that type of thing. They've chosen A&M. They use that money, and then the rest of that and the money that's down with Wixon is for maintenance of the equipment and for the cell, the data logger being able to collect that information.
Okay. Any questions on the financial report?
I'd ask that you approve the financial report as presented.
Entertain a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, executive session. At this time, the board will convene an executive session. Item number 1, Texas Government Code 551071, receive attorney-client privilege information regarding pending transport permit applications for groundwater from the Sinsboro Aquifer. Item number 2, Texas Government Code 551071, receive attorney-client privilege information regarding the drilling of the city of Calvert Well number 7 under the district's water well systems agreement with permittee UW Brazos Valley Farm LLC. And Texas Government Code 551071 and 551072 to receive attorney-client privilege information and to deliberate on matters concerning real property. So I'd ask the general public to please exit the boardroom while the board goes into executive session.
I just got here. In the rainstorm.
In the rain, huh? Ready?
Yes.
Coming out of executive session, we'll move on to item number 4, discussion and possible action on processing of pending transport permit applications for groundwater from the Sinsboro Aquifer.
We need to set a date for the transport permit hearing.
Okay.
And I would suggest it's be June 18th.
June the 18th. Everybody good with June 18th?
In the evening, probably 6 o'clock-ish.
Okay. Need a motion?
Yes.
Make a motion.
Make a motion, June 18th, 6 p.m.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Going to be at the Hearn School.
Hearn School, that's who we'll contact.
Yeah.
That's where we.
It'll be in the notice.
Okay.
So the Hearn Elementary School cafeteria,
Mhm.
tried to do it at 6 o'clock.
For the last one?
Yes.
Item number 5, discussion and possible action regarding the drilling of City of Calvert well number 7, BVDO 0320, under the district's water well assistance agreement with permittee UW Brazos Valley Farm LLC.
So the reason we put this on is because the city of Calvert's well is in the same boat as every other well that issued on or before September the 14th of last year and had not been drilled. All those wells, all the permits were reset September the 14th, have 3 years in order to be drilled without any fees being assessed. And then there's a 2-year additional period of time if they're not completed by September the 14th of 2026, then those wells, whoever the permit holder is, it begins to pay at a full rate at the highest rate, okay? So we're going to be responsible for the Calvert well. The district is responsible for that under the mitigation plan. We need,
Is that the reason why Calvert applied for the well?
oh, absolutely.
Okay, so but
Because
for
of,
the Upwell project, would it have been applied for?
it would not have been, no, would not have. So, we had long conversations with them about that up front. Once we knew there was gonna be a project. So, we need to get the process started for them on getting permits from TCEQ, getting the engineering design done. I'll call that phase 1, not getting it drilled immediately, but certainly getting the ability to get it drilled and hopefully have everything completed ahead of September 14th of 2026. They have very few funds available to them to begin that process. We have funds available only if we begin to, we have some money that's still in the
In the
well
general
system.
fund.
Yeah.
In the, do you have
Yeah.
some money in the well assistance fund?
We do have some in the well assistance fund, but we've got a lot of hydrogeologic work, things going on. So I don't know exactly how much money would be there. And then we have money in general funds that would be in CDs, things of that nature. What I want to do and plan on doing is entering into a memorandum of understanding with the city of Calvert, that if they are the ones to take the lead and begin this process and they have to pay any funds, that we will be reimbursing them for that, because this is a well assistance mitigation well. So that's what I'm planning on moving forward with.
You're looking for authorization for us to reimburse them for the first phase of their project and
That's
the
correct.
fees related to TCEQ.
Correct.
Any questions from the board?
Estimated at about how much?
Well, it could be up to 50,000 from what I talked to John Seifert about it. He said that process could be up to 50. So,
For the engineering report.
for the engineering and for getting the permits done.
So if we charged export fees the way Post Oak Savannah and Lost Pines did it up front for the permitted amount, would we have this issue?
We would not have this issue. That would be, I mean, the only thing is if we did that, then it would be, you'd still have a year delay on it unless you make it due
When were those permits issued?
you're talking about the September, these were.
No. The
This.
delay, the export permits.
Oh, the export permit for,
Well,
okay, that was in March of 2023.
so it'd be a year.
That's correct.
So you wouldn't have a year lag. I mean, you would have a year lag, but you'd be now making money on, I mean, you would be
Yeah.
taking in export fees.
Right.
A motion from the board?
So make a motion. Second.
Second, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6,
Thank
just discussion and possible action on matters concerning real property. We didn't have anything related to that.
We did not.
Item number 7, general manager's report. Quickly.
Everybody today got the monitoring maps, and things continue to look better and better, but I think everybody would appreciate some drying out, likely. The next page, again, public and board. This is probably the most informative document we have. It's always up online for each of the meetings. When it gets to every meeting, I would urge everybody to kind of pay attention to this particular document, okay? There were no permitted wells granted by the general manager this month and have been none this year. On to Simsboro mitigation management. Completion zones, we continue to work every day out in the zone up to the north and to the northeast, moving up toward Lake Limestone. I'll say we've probably already touched 100 wells up there. We've not done many domestic wells yet. That's coming very soon. What we are finding is there are a lot of wells drilled up there, rig supply wells, that are screening 2 aquifers. They're screening the Simsboro and screening the Calvert Bluff above, which makes them a Simsboro well, but there wasn't anything, the district wasn't even in place when many of those wells were done. We don't allow that anymore to screen 2 aquifers, but this wouldn't be something you'd go back and say, thou shalt plug. It's just something that we found.
Relates to the alarm rules. Okay,
We'll talk about that.
okay. Just for the record.
Next, the DFC planning update. We will have a meeting on May the 23rd. If you'll look at the next page, one more. Lots of items because we haven't been talking about anything since October. And so it's going to be a long meeting, a lot to be talked about. Those are the main items that of significance. And we did agree, just reminding everyone, we agreed back in October that we would begin with the proposed, am I saying this right, James? The proposed DFC, the initially proposed DFC, I think that'd be a good way to put it, we're going to start exactly where we ended in the last round. So there's not been the need to be running these worst case scenario. What does it look like if we put all the permits in? Okay, we've said we'll start here, and which kind of makes sense, guys, because you start with a number and then you start taking and looking at the 9 factors and then see how does that affect each of these things. So anyway, it's going to 23rd. It'll be online. If you're interested, you can sure get online through the Post Oak Savannah GCD and then go to GMA 12, and there'll be a go-to meeting or whatever it might be. General manager's report. You can read that as easily as I can go through it. I think you had your last
Yes, I had my last class last
for the
week.
year. Yep. And of course, you can also see the update on all of the management plan. And one last thing, we do have a new staff member. Megan's pregnant. All right. And therefore we have a new staff. So, there you go. Due in late October,
Late
early
October.
November.
Yep.
There you go. Good news on the back end, right? Okay. That's all I got.
All right, item number 8, discussion and possible future agenda items. Anything from the board?
We will have, in the not too distant future, don't know if it's the next meeting or the next one, we'll need to go through a presentation on the compliance with our DFCs.
Okay.
That'll be something that needs to be done fairly.
So other than the June 8th, public hearing meeting and that 18th, we're not planning to have another meeting in June, correct?
That's correct.
The June 18th, we'll defer regular business until the July
Yeah.
meeting, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
It'll just be the public hearing.
That way, everybody, we can focus on the.
Yeah.
Track.
On the permits. Nothing else? Item number 9, adjourn.
Thank y'all. Did we get all the comments from everybody?
Yes. Okay.
You said, you get it.
Thank you.
You know, I couldn't stand.
What's that?
Is it spread out into your house?
Yeah, not the legal part of it.